Hello and welcome back to It's Our Time podcast with your host Dalal. I am feeling so present. I hope you have had a wonderful week. I want to talk to you about the realization that I've had this week in learning to trust life, in learning to release worry so that my mind can be cleared up and the way that I move in this world can come from a place of peace. Now, this is not, for me, wasn't an easy thing to do because I come from a state of deep worrying about finances, worrying about if I'm being productive, worrying about am I wasting time and wasting life, worrying about all the things that really kind of clouded my ability to enjoy life and to be present with life. I'm learning now that to lean into this source that has created everything, myself included, and therefore it takes care and tends to everything. And that my role in this story, this narrative, is to move from a space of trusting this divine energy that is encompassed in every little thing in this universe and oversees the needs and the details. Now, I can give you examples of all of the ways that I've been taken care of. Like one example is last year, I work in a place where I was working in a place where there were students, and when the students are not there, my job is not there. And I had just started this new position and I was already receiving that position while I'm in a really difficult living situation. Everything was all up in the air. And the last thing I needed was for my means of income to be halted for 1 to 2 weeks, because 1 to 2 weeks living in California could have been a make or break situation for my living circumstances. And something in my spirit told me not to worry. Something in my spirit told me not to worry. And that the week approached of the holidays and our time off began at work. And I remember feeling at ease in my nervous system, but my mind was, all over the place with thoughts. And coming from a hyper independent mindset, hyper survivalistic and independent mindset, I didn't really tell anybody what was going on with me internally, what was going on in my reality. But that week, I received exactly what I would have been making the week that I would have been at work. I received a check from the IRS for money that they had overcharged me in my taxes. And it came exactly when I needed it. And I couldn't tell you how incredible that moment was for me to recognize, to trust in life, no matter what it looked like. And I mean, that situation in itself could have been a lot more strenuous. I could have ended up homeless, but the way that payment showed up for me allowed me to recognize that no matter what my circumstances look like, that I'm always taken care of. And therefore, I can allow myself to move, finally exhale, but begin to move in this trust so that my true way of moving in this world, my true essence, the things I wanted to do that I was putting to the side because I need to survive, all the things I wanted to experience in life, I put to the side because I'm afraid, I'm in worry state. I am keeping up all of my life. I'm the maintainer of my life. And that was so obstructive of the divine force that I am and the divine way I am meant to move in this world. And I'm stubborn. Okay, I'm stubborn. I wasn't going to get this the first time around. This trusting life thing, I wasn't going to get it the first time around. I am now in this moment, a whole different country, and the way that it even manifested was so divinely orchestrated, because now I am around family, and this is it has always been a very important point of healing for me, point of healing and learning to detach from family identity. So now I'm being brought, it was orchestrated by the divine that I'm brought into this reality right now with my family so that I can begin to move through the past loops differently, with guidance, with presence, with knowing. And it just keeps showing me trust in me, trust in life, release worry. There was when like Netflix or like one of them things like charges you on like a new subscription, right? Like that happened for me. I got charged a subscription for like 100 something, um a little while ago, and I was again in the worry zone because I was like, that was supposed to go towards something that I had already accounted for, and I should really reach out to this person, let them know that I might not be able to do what I said I was going to do because this error happened, and then something was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing none of that. I'm staying quiet and watch. It's all going to reverse back just in time. I'm going to have what I need to do, what I need to do with it to continue my commitment as it was already arranged. And it took away the haste that would have made me act before it was necessary for me to act, for me to be involved as a human being in the equation. I didn't need to be involved in it yet, so it's the practice. It's the practice of learning to trust life and look at the evidence. Continue to remind yourself about the evidence of what you have come through, the miracles that you've experienced in your life. And we've all experienced miracles, whether we attune to them or not. That's different, but we've all experienced miracles, and we see them happening all the time. I see miracles happening around me all the time. The kids skating outside and having a moment to be embraced by life around them, by the world, and for them to be in freedom and in safety. That's a miracle. That's a miracle. It's not their parents keeping them safe when they're outside like that. There's something watching, something keeping them taken care of. There's a miracle when somebody is in need and they so happen to cross someone who has a job for them, hands them a phone, pays their bill. All of that's a miracle. There's something that is aware of everything that you're going through at any given moment, that is aware of your thoughts, your movements, your place and position in this realm and this reality. It's aware of all of that. And you finally get to settle into your position in this world. You get to trust and you get to create from love. You get to create from freedom to be. And you get to have courage that does not come from just thinking you're a human being who is full of fear and full of worry. You get to remember that you are made from the same source that takes care of all things. And this gives you courage to begin to show up differently in your life, in your being, in your thoughts, and in your relationships. Because once fear is extracted, the truth comes out. And when the truth comes out, everything is healed. Everything comes into alignment, falls into place. So this is my moment of finally realizing and recognizing the truth of this life and relinquishing worry. I was even worried about, what am I going to come and talk about today in my podcast episode? I'm worried about, is this going to is this going to be a certain length of time? And, you know, you start to recognize the congestion of thoughts. You start to recognize the density, the heaviness that your spirit feels when you put all these thoughts in the way of who you are. I'm blessed, really. I am so blessed and so honored now to release what I thought life was, to release who I thought I was, and to begin to see through presence, through awareness, through loving observation, exactly who I am, and to fall in love and to honor the sacredness. So I really hope that you lean into releasing worry, releasing the grip, and leaning more into trusting of life, trusting of the creator that made you, trusting of yourself, your knowing, your inner compass, and enjoy that you are present in this reality, in this moment, and not because of your external circumstances, not because of the hardship that you're going through or the success that you're going through. Allow yourself to exist away from everything else, and not to say become completely disconnected, forget this, forget that. It's the opposite, is that you get to actually nurture you, so then everything else is in the right place, so that worry doesn't creep in and make itself your companion for life and your best friend and your lover, and fear become your instructor and your director, so that everything can go into place, so that fear can become something like, oh, that brings my awareness to this. Okay, what am I going to do with this awareness? Allow everything to go back to its natural state. Let's find joy again. Let's find peace again. Let's find the ease in being who we are, even when it's challenging, and especially when it is challenging. When you recognize you are you are you are everything, without needing to combine yourself to everything. Thank you so much for tuning into It's Our Time podcast. I'm going to allow myself some reprieve, some rest, as I am harmonizing my relationship with productivity and pleasure, and not thinking that the two are separate, but finding the way to align them. And that's what we'll talk about next week: harmonizing productivity and pleasure. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and Eid Mubarak to all those celebrated. And as always, free Sudan, free Palestine, free Congo, free all our brothers and sisters who deserve to live in a world that honors, loves, and gives them their God given right to live, to exist, and to flourish. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. I'll see you later. Mwah.